Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optix, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we discuss film, TV, and everything pop culture related. I am your host, Christian, and I'm joined by my co-host and my good friend, Demo. How are you doing today, man?
When's the last time we recorded on a Wednesday?
Man,
Hump day.
Ooh, hump day. I love it. Yeah, oh my God. I think the last time we did was like maybe Mitchell's versus the Machines. I think that came out I think the embargo for that came out like midweek. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of nice though. I'm not gonna lie. You know, we have our weekend ahead of us. We don't have to, we got to scramble to get this out. Like, no, Loki's here. It's the new thing. Wednesdays are indeed the new Fridays, and that is all that matters. So it's great stuff, man. But how have you been? How's your week been? What have you been up to this wonderful week?
It's been pretty good. It doesn't feel like it feels bad. It's only Wednesday, but
I hear you there, man.
I've been watching Sweet Tooth. Have you started that yet?
I have not. Honestly, dude, I've been so busy trying to prepare for E3 and just this past week, I feel like I haven't done a lot of like just watching like movies or TV, like even like playing video games. Like I've been playing through Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I beat the first two. I'm on the third one. I was dog sitting all last week, so I was kind of playing with the dog for a bit and kind of just finishing up Drake and Josh. Watched the rest of that last weekend. Been kind of watching a little bit of New Girl here or there, and I watched the Friends reunion, but I got to watch the Bo Burnham special as well.
Oh yeah,
I hear it's fan-freaking-tastic.
It's really good and depressing.
Oh, life. But yeah, like I honestly feel like I just haven't had too much time to kind of just like sit back, relax, and like watch some stuff. Like, I mean, I still need to watch Castlevania season 4, and I need to watch My Hero Academia. So there's a lot of things that I feel like I've been like in this other world, this like out of body experience. I'm like, what have I been doing?
I am very confident that you would like Sweet Tooth because it's like just the classic journey with a large man and a small child that don't get along at first. The classic Ellie and Joel. Classic Shrek and Donkey.
Shrek and Donkey. I'm a flying talking donkey. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna dive into it. There's been so much news this week too, and it's like it was really hard to kind of narrow down what we're going to talk about today. But it is what it is. It is Hump Day. We're halfway through the week, so we only got 2 more days until E3 actually starts tomorrow, Thursday. By the time of this recording, okay, it's Summer Games Fest, but it's E3 all the same. We got a lot of stuff. You going to jump on the other pod and talk some video games with us?
I could.
All right. Well, we got to save it for Xbox Sunday. I think Ubisoft is Saturday. Oh, Ubisoft. Every E3, man, they always have the worst one. They always have a musical number as well. It always sneaks its way in there with Just Dance. What are we on? Like Just Dance 15?
Insane.
It's crazy stuff. But yeah, that's another thing. We kind of started a new podcast called Critics Play Games, where it's about a bunch of film critics talking about video games. So
back to our roots.
Back to our broke boy gaming roots before this kind of took off, and
before we realized how much easier movies are than games.
That is the only with the other podcasts outside of the E3 coverage, it is definitely planned to be a monthly thing where we get together every month and talk about it. So as long as we keep that consistency, we should be all good to go. So it's like it's an exciting time. It took us a while to come up with that name too, but I like it a hell of a lot better. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to curse as much anymore. We got kids out there, Devin. People are listening to this podcast. Little Jimmy, 12-year-old Jimmy is listening to this, aspiring to be a podcaster one day.
Kid Loki is watching.
Kid Loki is watching. But before we begin today's topics, and of course, we're going to be covering Loki episode 1 in this podcast. Before we begin today's show, you can listen to our podcast around the internet, on podcast platforms around the internet. Man, I'm off my game today. And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optix for all of our latest announcements. And I got to say really quick, when we were doing our first episode of Critics Play Games, which is up right now on podcast platforms around the internet as well, we did like E3 2021 predictions. And it was weird, like saying something other than Film Optix, because like this is our thing. Like we've been doing this for what, since 2019? 18 2019 is kind of when we really started the whole movie thing. Well, we had a few reviews before then, but that was when we were broke boy meaty.
Oh yeah,
God, that name. Oh man. But yeah, man, let's dive into our topics here. Number 1, we have Bill Skarsgård has been casted for John Wick 4. Uh-oh. Ooh. Man,
I like that. The John Wick series does a good job of adding in an actor here or there for each movie, but they're not like huge, like money grabbing, headline grabbing names. Like it's just like quality additions.
Yeah. Is that supposed to come out next year, right? Is that Warner Brothers? I think. Or I'm sorry, Warner Brothers Discovery. Oh, I mean, that's all it is now. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Bill Skarsgård's his role is going to be. Because, you know, we've known from many of others. He was in Devil All the Time. He played Pennywise, in It Chapter 1 and 2.
I wouldn't mind seeing Pennywise versus John Wick. I mean, just straight up.
Honestly,
that'd be a good fight.
That would be a really nice fight. I like that a lot. I don't know, man. Like I'm excited for John Wick 4. I just kind of wish we knew a little bit more about it. But I think Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 are still slated to come out on the same day.
I don't think they are anymore.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. We can't get our daily dose of Keanu or our daily dose of Reeves. But it looks like new character details have been hard to come by for this project. So I guess he'll be playing one of John Wick's old friends, one who shares half as many enemies as the Baba Yaga, the bitch.
Baba Yaga versus Pennywise.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool stuff. So are you smashing this or passing? We haven't done that forever.
Big smash.
Big smash. There we go. Congratulations. Speaking of smash, really, really quick, we got a new Space Jam trailer that came in. I wanted to sneak this into the news. Did you see it?
I did not watch it yet. No.
Oh, okay. We got some nice little trailers here. We got the new iCarly introduction. I was all in the fields with that one. It looked good. I'm very excited for it. So we got that coming up too. But yeah, this Space Jam trailer looks a lot better. I know there was that one little clip of Lola when she was kind of getting interviewed with like Bugs Bunny, and everyone was like, "Oh, Zendaya's voice doesn't fit," which in that clip it did not. But rewatching the trailer a few times, the new trailer for Space Jam: A New Legacy, it wasn't half bad. Like I was like, okay, this actually works. I'm like, I'm not sure if it was just lip syncing was off or it just seemed like a small little promotional clip that they were doing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I like the first trailer, so I'm definitely excited.
Shoot the ball. Anyway, let's move on here so we can get to the cream of the crop. We have Shadow and Bone. It is Netflix Geeks Week. So we get Witcher news, I think this coming up Friday, which I'm very excited. You know, we get Witcher 2 season 2, but now they have announced Shadow and Bone has been renewed for season 2, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Devin doesn't really like the whole high fantasy thing. Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
Nope.
Okay, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all you need to know.
that's all you need to know, exactly. But yeah, the renewal follows like a very strong viewership from the first season, which was watched more by 55 million member households in its first 28 days of season 1 of Shadow and Bone. According to Netflix, the series made it to the top 10 list in 93 countries around the world and hit number 1 in 79 countries, including Australia, Brazil, Germany, Russia, Spain, South Africa, and the US. So Jessie May Lee, excuse me, as Lena Skarkov. It's a good show, man. I'm very, very excited. I haven't read the books, but this has prompted me to read them. So it's going to be a really, really good time there. So, Devin,
it's better. It's doing better than Jupiter's Legacy. Sure.
Shoot, R.I.P. That was terrible. Terrible, terrible stuff, man. But you know what's not terrible? We got some Umbrella Academy season 3 episode titles in the mix. Do you want to do the honors and read them off?
Yes, I will.
Well, let's do a spoiler warning really quick. There you go. Just in case people kind of want to skip ahead a little bit. I wasn't entirely sure. But
we got 10 episodes. Is that how many there were the last 2 seasons?
I believe so.
We got Meet the Family, classic. World's Biggest Ball of Twine. Pocket Full of Lightning. Kugelblitz.
A real world. What does that say?
A real word.
Oh, real word. Oh, okay. Cool.
Apparently, it's a word that describes a radiation-formed black hole.
Ooh,
interesting.
Gulp.
And then we have episode 5, Kindest Cut. Episode 6, Marigold. Episode 7, Auf Wiedersehen. German for goodbye.
Of course.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, yeah. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, Auf Wiedersehen. Or, well, that's until I see you again. This is Auf Wiedersehen, which is goodbye.
Okay, yeah. It's not a very pretty language. Episode 8, Wedding at the End of the World. Episode 9, Six Bells. And episode 10, Oblivion.
Elder Scrolls 4.
Umbrella Academy 3, Oblivion.
There you go. Yeah, so those are all of the episode titles for Umbrella Academy season 3. I don't know if we don't have a date for that yet. I don't believe, but we're gonna be there 100%. I don't think we reviewed the first season on the pod because we watched it and we watched that and The Boys, and we decided to, yeah, that's right. We decided to review The Boys over Umbrella Academy season 1, but then we did season 2. So that is on the pod somewhere down the line. I think it was about a year ago, something like that. So there's always that. I don't know, but yeah, I'm very, very excited for this, Devin. It's all I've been thinking about. Netflix Geeked Week, I think it's called. So they've been kind of, dropping little cool things. It's like their E3. There's a lot going on this week for sure. So moving on here, we have Paramount dates Jeff Nichols for A Quiet Place movie slated for 2023. Just really, really quick. People thought that this was A Quiet Place Part 3. Apparently, this is actually more of a spinoff. So how do you feel about this, Devin? Because I have a little bit of worries because I'm not sure how this is all gonna end up. Because
it's just weird. It's like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are saying all the right things. They're like, oh, we're not making a money grab. Oh, we didn't want to do a sequel because we were scared it wasn't going to live up to the first. And then now they're doing a spinoff. It's like, I mean, they're not doing it, but a spinoff is being made. It's like, feels like the studio is just kind of taking over at this point.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of worried about the age between Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe, the two kids, and of course their newborn baby, which I'm assuming they're going to name him Lee. I think they're going to name him Lee for sure. But I'm just not entirely sure because it's like, okay, if this is a spinoff, when does A Quiet Place 3 come out? Is it slated to come out before the spinoff? Is it slated to come out after? How it is, if there is a time jump, which I'm totally fine with. how much of a time jump is it going to be between part 2 and part 3? So that's like another thing. So it's like, I really don't know. A whole spinoff thing. I mean, I'm for it if they, expand the world more. Like, I feel like they definitely did in part 2, but it could have been expanded. It could have been refined a little bit for sure. It's still in my top 5 movies of 2021, especially after The Conjuring. I'm like, put that way down on the list. But yeah, I mean, part 2, opened up around Memorial Day weekend and came in, with around $57 million during the 4-day opening. And then its first week, it did around 69.1 million stateside. So, which is 3% ahead of the first Quiet Place around the same point in time. So it'd be pretty cool. And then 432 million plus worldwide. So it's great stuff. I mean, like, I'm glad they're expanding, but I'm just kind of worried about what is this spinoff going to entail? Because if it just feels like it should have been Quiet Place Part 3, then what is Quiet Place Part 3 actually going to be? So I don't know. That's always interesting to figure out. But let's move on here, Devin. We have Cruella sequel. Of course, we got more sequels here, Devin. What would this podcast be without more sequel content? We have Cruella sequel in the works at Disney, exclusive from Hollywood Reporter. Did you see Cruella, by the way?
I've not yet.
Oh man, it's good. It is good. I feel like it is a little too long. I feel like it overstays its welcome a little bit. But Emma Stone, fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic.
I would have watched it by now if it was free on Disney Plus.
Hey, Ray and the Last Dragon's free on Disney Plus. We can
it is now, yes.
we can go another round at that for sure. Yeah. So I guess, Devin, even if you haven't seen Cruella, what would be your title for the sequel? Because I have one in mind, but I want to hear what's going on in your head first.
Cruella Tuville.
See, I was gonna do Tuella Deville.
Yeah.
So, it was a good movie. I mean, it looks like we have a little bit of a quote here where they say we're very pleased with Cruella box office success in conjunction with its strong Disney Plus Premier Access performance to date. A Disney spokesperson said in a statement. So they didn't want to be known. Maybe it was Bob Barker. I bet you it was Kevin Feige, to be honest. He's just running everything.
He's everywhere.
The film has been incredibly well received by audiences around the world, with a 97% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, in addition to A's in every demographic from CinemaScore opening weekend. Ooh, CinemaScore. Oh, yeah, I remember them. Ranking it among the most popular of our live action reimaginings. I will say it is the best. They look forward to a long run as audiences continue to enjoy this fantastic film. So, they've had a lot of other remakes out there: Alice in Wonderland, Maleficent, Cinderella, and the 1 billion grossers include Aladdin, The Lion King. Ugh, man, that was so terrible. Beauty and the Beast. So there's a few others coming along. We got Pinocchio, Peter Pan and Wendy, and The Little Mermaid is also in the works. So I don't know how those are going to do, but it is what it is, man. I'm happy for it. I'm just doing whatever.
And we're going to end on more sequel news here.
You want to take
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse sequel has cast its Spider-Girl, Jessica Drew.
Who is
Issa Rae joining the cast.
Yeah, I was very. I didn't like. I'm very excited when it comes to she's not less known because she is known. It's just she wasn't a kind of person I would expect to be into the Spider-Verse sequel, but I'm kind of glad it's happening. You know, we're getting, and I'm not gonna. I was a little salty. It wasn't my girl Daisy Ridley, because I know she really wanted it. But you know, there's always
she'll get the live action.
Yeah,
one.
she probably will get the live action one, or someone of that nature. But yeah, this is great news for Issa Rae. You know, she's a great actress. You know, she's been on a lot of different things. And you know, we're expanding upon the women heroes, the heroines of Marvel, whether it be the MCU or just other Marvel properties, because you know it's going to be very, very interesting to. I'm interested to see how she plays. You know, she's been known for Insecure, you know, the comedy drama through HBO, and you know she's putting on the Cowling cape, I guess. Speaking of Spider-Man, you saw that Spider-Man Friends trailer?
Yeah. I mean,
I was like,
if I was 6 years old, I'd be all over that.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course they got what was it? The guy from Fall Out Boy. I was like, is that Fall Out Boy? I forgot the lead singer's name. I haven't listened to them in ages, but his voice is very distinct. So I was like, okay, the theme song honestly isn't half bad. I was like, it's nice for what it is. But yeah, if if we were toddlers, you know, watching Wonder Pets, it looks like, it doesn't even look kiddish. This looks very babyish, but like obviously this is not for us. So
yeah,
congratulations to all the toddlers out there getting some more Spidey action. And I think Hulk is in it, Black Panther, and Miss Marvel as well. And I noticed her there. I was like, oh, okay. You know, they're expanding. They're trying to. Disney's just making the money, dude.
Of course.
My God, that's gonna make so much more money. It's gonna make so much money. Like all the toys, the merchandise. Wow. Ugh. Anyway, Devin, let's get into our Loki episode 1 review. Do we have a name for episode 1? I don't.
Glorious Purpose. Glorious Purpose.
Glorious Purpose. Okay. Episode 1, Glorious Purpose. Because when I watch the screeners, it just says episode 1 and episode 2. So I was like, oh, okay. So I guess we'll just, yeah, that's fine. Oh, look, Rand the Last Dragon. Artemis Fowl. Have you watched it, Devin?
Never.
I was just scrolling through Disney Plus on my computer. Man, it actually has been a while since I've used it. I actually haven't been keeping up with the Bad Batch. I'm on episode 4 of season 1. So I think I'm just gonna binge that and watch the rest of it once it comes out. But I hear the High School Musical, the series. Wow, such a long name. I hear that's actually not that bad. But I mean, they're growing their audience. It's coming. You know, Loki is the third official Marvel Studios TV show that we have received this past year, including WandaVision and The Falcon and Winter Soldier. So we're going to get into more, you know, give our initial thoughts like we always do. And then once you hear this, that means we'll get into a little bit more of the spoiler territory. So if you haven't watched it yet, you know, cut off the podcast, come back and listen to our hot takes, because I have some hot takes, Devin. But
you need to watch this. It's so good. We're just gonna go out and say it.
Oh, absolutely.
At least I am.
Oh no, I'm right there with you, like 100%. This is very it is very experimental. It reminds me of WandaVision in a way, but it does its own thing.
Yeah, it's like it is experimental, but it all makes sense. It all clicks right away. You're like, okay, I see what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like beat for beat. It's like, okay, hey, we have 6 episodes to wrap this up. You know, we have
they're not wasting time. That's for sure.
No, they're not wasting time at all. And we were fortunate enough to see the first 2 episodes. So of course, we're only going to be covering episode 1 in this podcast. Episode 2 will be next week. So we'll actually be recording right after this. So we're just trying to knock 2 birds out with one stone. You know, we got other stuff going on. We got In the Heights coming out. So that's going to be awesome. Oh my God, I forgot about that. So
tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. we're just a well-oiled machine, Devin. We're just chugging along. Just keep pumping it on out. But yeah, Loki episode 1. I was talking to Amanda over at AMX NDA Reviews about it, and Leo over at Geekly Goods on their live stream yesterday. And I was saying like a lot of people, like I think Amanda didn't like it as much as I did, but I was like, I feel like this is like this is like the informational episode that we're gonna get.
Yeah,
the one
I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying it was like a clunky premiere, and I was
not
just like,
all.
well, I don't understand. Like it was perfect setup, and the world building is amazing.
Yeah. It was like I really just liked how they kind of they explained everything right out of the bat,
and it's easy to understand. You're not getting confused at any point. You're like, all right, it makes sense. Like it can be confusing too when you're dealing with multiple timelines. And you have to try to explain that. The way they did it was so well done.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And I've seen some people out there, and we'll get into it more when we get into the spoiler side. We'll talk about more of the timeline and the rules and whatnot. But I usually just, I kind of just forgive them for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, what TV show or movie has had, the ultimate rule of like time travel? Like, like this is the way that we should perceive time travel or the multiverse or whatever it may be when you're dealing with time. Because I mean, everyone has their own take on it. So it's like these are superhero shows. Like this is about a Norse god of mischief who's been apprehended as a variant. But this isn't the same Loki that we've known prior. This is more of a setback Loki, where it is.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have the knowledge going in that this is Avengers 1 Loki.
Yeah,
going into the series, he's. I don't remember. Was he brainwashed by Thanos? He's definitely working for Thanos, but I don't remember if it was his own volition.
He wasn't. I don't believe he was brainwashed. No. I believe it was his own doing. But the Loki that we knew in Infinity War had more of a change of heart because of everything that happened in Ragnarok and whatnot. So, man, I want to say something, but I don't know if it's a spoiler. But I did hear whispers. I just won't say it. It's okay. It's fine. Because people are listening. So, but yeah, I really like the dialogue in this episode is really, really good.
Yeah, Owen Wilson.
Yeah,
everyone was hating on Owen Wilson. Like when the casting was announced and everything, I was just like, a lot of people hate Owen Wilson. He's fine. He's a good guy.
He has to do at least one. Wow.
Everyone's waiting for it.
Everyone's waiting for it. It has to happen at some point. I mean, if it doesn't, that's fine. But it would be really cool if it did. Like I would really, really enjoy that. But yeah, overall, a strong start. Like they don't waste any time at all. And that's what I really appreciate. Like I'm not just sitting here like, oh, well, like it's just, I guess with the Falcon and Winter Soldier for me, it just felt like it was just dragging its feet through like half of it. And then we got like 3 good episodes kind of like sporadically put out. Like, I mean, the finale was a finale. Like there were parts I liked about the finale, but it just didn't feel like a cohesive story. I mean, we all know that Falcon and Winter Soldier had its issues, but it's like, man, oh man, I really just don't know. It's just been crazy.
As far as premieres go for the Disney Plus show so far, this one's definitely at the top for me.
Okay. More so than WandaVision.
I mean, WandaVision premieres at the bottom for me.
What?
It's not entertaining. I understand the purpose, but it's not.
Oh,
it's not good to watch.
WandaVision. Man, you can't tell me you didn't like those. Well, okay. I will say another thing about Loki that I really appreciate. Episode 1 is 51 minutes and episode 2 is 54 minutes.
We're getting some good length.
Yeah. Which we're eating good. We're eating really, really good. But like I tweeted about it. I was like, it does start the series off in the right path. It doesn't waste any time. With what it's given, it's been I did say it's experimental as WandaVision is, if not more. Dialogue's great. And, we're only on episode 2. We are only on episode 2. You guys, not yet, but soon. Next week, Wednesday. Like, it's so perfect to have something. Wednesdays are the new Fridays. Like, it's a nice break to the week. We get something to watch on TV. And then there's usually always some kind of movie or TV show that comes out. Like
summertime.
Yes. It's great stuff. I really like how they're doing this. I mean, and of course, you have Loki on Wednesdays, and then you have not Falcon Winter Soldier, I'm sorry, The Bad Batch on Fridays. So if you're following both shows, like, it really just, they're letting them breathe, which I'm really, really happy about. But let's dive into the spoiler territory here, unless there was anything else you wanted to say before we just kind of dive into it.
Let's get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the spoiler territory of Loki episode 1. So if you have not seen the episode thus far, turn back and come back and listen to
It's a very humbling episode for Loki here. Our good pal Loki. He's got a lot to learn.
I really like how he's not like he's not one dimensional. He's like, this is the god of mischief. He's up to his trickster ways. And it's really the dialogue and the conversations that him and Owen
the scenes where he's watching his life unfold are so good.
He just breaks.
Tom Hiddleston's so good in this role.
It's everyone's favorite villain. I mean, outside of, like, I would say maybe Killmonger and of course Thanos, but Loki's definitely up there for me. Like, he's I can't really say he's relatable, but it's like I just love to watch him. He's
just fun.
Yeah, and like everyone knows his trickster ways, so it's like
and it's like we're finally getting a good chunk of dialogue from him. From in the past movies, like, he was obviously talking, but we never had like extended periods of time where we're hearing what his thoughts and feelings are. Yeah, and it's like so cool to see how he thinks.
Yeah, and him being the first villain of the Avengers, essentially, and it's like, oh, like that's perfect, and it's like he just becomes this icon to so many people. And I love it, the variant, the whole time, like with Miss Minute,
their new merchandise coming out.
Yeah, Tara Strong, who has been a world renowned voice actors for many of characters out there. I believe she was in Rugrats. I think she did Tommy Pickles, if I'm not mistaken, and Timmy Turner.
She's in everything.
Parents. Yeah, she is. Oh my gosh, fantastic. It's just, I really like how they explained the multiverse, like the time flow and how everything used to be separate.
Yeah, I love the animation they made. It was like some parts Cuphead, some parts like
Fallout. I was thinking Fallout for sure. Yeah.
Like Flintstones in there. Like,
oh yeah.
It was so good, and it did such a good job of explaining the job that the TVA has.
I love it how he's called a variant.
Yeah,
it's great that, like, and we have oh my gosh, the lady, one of the guards, she was in Lovecraft Country.
Yeah. I'm gonna butcher the name. Wunmi Mosaku.
Yeah, and I think she was in something else I watched recently as well, but I can't put my finger on it. But it's I've been seeing a lot of praise for it throughout Twitter and whatnot. It's great. It's a breath of fresh air. Like, it really does feel like a breath of fresh air. And like, even between this, I will just say this right now, between episode 1 and 2, like, and I always had this theory. I was like, I really felt like, for whatever reason, that Falcon and the Winter Soldier was going to be the weakest of WandaVision, Loki, and Loki and Falcon. And like, I mean, like, I love Bucky. I love the new Captain America, but like, that definitely sits at the number 3 slot for me right now. I think WandaVision, as of right now, is still number 1 because, and I think Loki will remain number 2 until we see more and more Because I mean, it's hard because we got 9 episodes with WandaVision. We're getting 6 with Loki and Falcon, but
Well, I'd say we got 6 episodes of WandaVision too, because the first 3.
Oh my God.
We're just gonna forget about those.
No. They were fantastic, Devin. I loved it. You saw the behind the scenes. All the magic, the movie magic.
Nice in color, and everything's real and breathing.
Man, I'm telling you, this episode 8 of WandaVision broke me. Man, that was terrible. Well, not terrible, but like terrible as in like, man, it was heart-wrenching. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about, so they're talking about the time of the multiverse and whatnot, and they kind of address, so they address what the Avengers did.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that was supposed to happen. I wanted to ask you, do you feel like that's like a cheap, like write-off? Like, oh, like just a cheap way of explaining, like, well, the Avengers messed with, the time, and, they went back in time to gather these Infinity Stones, but they did put them right back. So it's like, where are you falling around this? Because I've seen some people talk about it. Because the Infinity Stones are in this episode. I
love that part so good, so much. They're paperweights because it doesn't matter to them because they're that powerful.
Yeah, which is great. He's like, "What are all these Infinity Stones doing here?" It's like, oh, they're just. It is what it is. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah. So, what are your thoughts about?
I mean, the way they explained it made sense. What are the timekeepers? They're called.
Yeah,
the three reptile, the lizards. He kept calling them.
Yeah.
But it makes sense if they see the past and future, then they know that, just like Doctor Strange said, they only had that one chance, and that's the way they did it.
Yeah,
and the timekeepers knew that was the only chance they had to stop Thanos.
Yeah, it's kind of like I can understand how people may see it as like a write-off, but it's like I said, we said before, this is a show about superheroes. Like, this is all about the supernatural to begin with. So it's like, I feel like we can definitely give it a little bit of slack, but I still want to know, where is Steve Rogers? Is he dead? Is he alive? Like, they're like, oh, like he's just gone. He's gone. It's like, okay, like, is he gone? Or is he just like chilling up in space with the scrolls gone? But I'm assuming he's dead. I really don't know. But yeah, episode 1, fantastic. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on before we get into scores here?
I just really liked it. Like, the world building was amazing to me. Mm-hmm. The way they set up, because nobody knows what the TVA is unless you're like a diehard comic reader, because that's like a deep cut.
Yeah.
But Morbius, like, nobody knows what these are, but they bring them in and it all just makes sense.
Yeah. I see. I need to watch Heavy Spoilers and, new Rockstar videos about episode 1.
I did watch Heavy Spoilers.
Every time there's a new show, I'm telling you, I always go to Heavy Spoilers.
He said Falcon was his favorite premiere out of the 3.
Really?
I did think it was good, but I think Loki's was better.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Like, I wouldn't say no. Like, Falcon's wasn't terrible. Like, it was definitely like a thrill ride, especially like the first like 10-15 minutes. But yeah, I would not. But hey, everyone has their favorite characters in the MCU. Like I said, I love Bucky. I love Captain America now. But they're just not up there on my list of like favorite of I guess you could say like the B team, aka the side characters. They get all like their TV shows, but I'm saying, like, I've been a Wanda fan since day one, so there's always that, and I've always
I wonder why. I wonder why you're so attracted to good old Wanda.
Oh, my life! Listen, I love Vision as well. Like, I loved Age of Ultrons. I know people didn't like it, but like it's one of my guilty pleasures. Like, what can I say? I was like, I mean, yeah, like there's issues, whatever, but it's like it's still a good movie. And now WandaVision elevates that. So it's like, oh my God, like we were getting all these great moments in the MCU, and there's way more to come. way more to come. So let's close this out and do our and give our scores for episode 1. Unless you want to do predictions for, do you want to do predictions for episode 2, Devin? Even though you've already seen episodes.
That's cheating.
I think. All right. So, Devin, what would you give episode 1 of Loki? What was the title again? I'm sorry. I should have pulled it up.
Glorious Purpose.
Glorious Purpose. Nice.
I'm just gonna go a solid A. Just
okay.
Almost perfect.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, like, I didn't expect the first episode to be this long, but yeah, they have a little group watch on Disney Plus. I did not know that. That would be pretty cool to do. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna give it a I'm teetering between an A and A minus because I think it is great. I'm going to give it a solid A. I am going to give it a solid A because it is, it's not perfect, but like this is a really strong start to like what could be a really great, a shorter lived, TV show because it's only 6 episodes. Maybe we'll get a season 2, but I feel like is it safe to say that these Disney Plus shows are limited series?
There has been announcements that Loki season 2 is a thing, but that the first season might be self-contained.
Okay. So,
I mean, that's the thing with this show. They can do whatever they want because there's different timelines, there's different variants.
Yeah, it's more of an experimental playground, and I think I like that concept more than Falcon and Winter Soldier, where there has to be a beginning. Obviously, there has to be a beginning, middle, end for any story that you tell, but it's just, I don't know. There's just so much more possibilities.
That's what happens when you have magical abilities instead of being grounded.
Mephisto, Devin.
I mean that devil.
Yeah. I forgot. I meant to talk about that. Yeah, the devil was really, really great. I was just like, ooh. Everyone's like, oh, he's back. It's like anytime that there's like a multiverse that show, everyone's gonna be like, oh, is this Mephisto?
There was also a Nightmare reference. Maybe Nightmare could be showing up.
Man, I mean, the Nightmare is already in season 2. Wow, which we will get into here for next week because this is this week's episode. Even though we're recording next week's after this because we're busy men. We're busy people. We're we're too busy watching MODOK and playing Mass Effects. But yeah, so a solid A from Devin and myself. So I guess when you say solid A, do you mean like a 94, 95?
Yeah, like 95.
Okay.
Like right in there.
I'll just do 94 just to be a little bit different. So we're not like on the same wavelength. But hey, I mean, I was so surprised you did not like Quiet Place Part 2 as much as I did. But, that's what it is. So,
I wanted to.
I know. I know you wanted to. But that's the great thing about all this, it's just everyone has their own opinions when it comes to movies and TV shows, and for everyone listening out there or watching on YouTube, it is, it's nice to have differences, but you got to know when to respect each other's opinions, so to speak. So that's always a great thing to keep in mind. So before we close out here, of course, we will be doing Loki episode 2 next week. That'll be dropping next week. And we do have In the Heights dropping this week.
Tomorrow, baby. Tomorrow.
Yeah, because I'm like uploading this like as soon as I can, Devin, as soon as I can. Actually, maybe we could do it for tomorrow. So I've been reading up on podcasting, and it's like, I guess the best days to release is like a Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday or something like that. And I was like, what? I don't know. Actually, no, I think this one's just gonna go up today. Why not? I mean, we're not
today.
Yeah, it's out today. We're not slaves to the corporation, to the algorithm. I'm still trying to figure out the algorithm for podcasting because it's different. YouTube is a whole other beast. We just put it up on YouTube because it's another platform. But so yes, we have In the Heights coming up tomorrow. We have Loki episode 2 dropping next week. I'm going to be doing E3 coverage over on Music City Drive-In website, but I would definitely like to also do coverage of E3 2021 over on Critics Play Games. Everyone, if you like video games, go check out our second podcast, our the quote unquote less successful podcast, because we're only one episode in. There's so many possibilities. We've been doing this for a while, but yeah, so definitely go follow, subscribe, follow Critics Play Games at Critics Play Pod on Twitter, and subscribe and download our first episode about our E3 2021 predictions. That'll be a lot of fun. And I believe that's pretty much it. Make sure to, of course, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts here on Film Optix or wherever you listen to podcast platforms, because we're just craving for some content, man. We're trying to give the people what they want, give the people what they deserve overall. So let's close out here, Devin. And that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you all for listening, and make sure to check out the other shows over on musiccitydrivein.com and subscribe to our show so you never, ever, ever miss an episode. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.